Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the Spider's Web. I see a lot of new followers on my YouTube channel. I'm guessing this has a lot to do with Comic Drake. I'd like to thank Comic Drake for reaching out to me for some information on Spider-Man stuff. The merchandise, if you haven't checked it out, go to Comic Drake on YouTube, check out his YouTube channel. And the video that I helped them get information on was, can you live entirely off of Spider-Man merchandise? It's very well done. Comic Drake does excellent work. If you have a chance, go look it up. Because so many of you are new and I haven't done one of these in a while, I have some time these days because quite honestly, like most of you, I'm in social distancing so as to avoid COVID-19. And so I will probably have some time. I've been working from home, so I figured maybe the place to start with so many new people on my channel is just a little bit about me and my room. I've been collecting for as long as I can remember. The poster on the top right hand side is the main thing. It came from Doug Saloput, Comic World. For those of you who know Doug, he's been a kingpin in the comic industry for a long time. He had a comic store in the same place my dad had an optical business, and that's how this whole thing started a long time ago. So I'm gonna do a quick room tour just to give you guys some idea of the collection, what I do. This is the outside wall. I do have a Spider-Man room in my basement. It does mean a lot to me. I try to organize it as best as I can, as you'll see. I've tried to collect a little bit of everything. Comic books and the 60s cartoon, of course, is where it all started, as well as that poster. So on the outside wall, just some of the pictures and posters I've collected from shows over the years. That's one of my favorite items, is the Paul Soules 2 series autograph sets for the original cartoon, all the way to the movie memorabilia, some different autographed pictures, and then the latest, of course, being Far From Home on the door, and of course Stan the Man Lee, Never Too Far Away From This. So as we go into the actual room, giving you guys an idea of what's going on. So this is my Spider-Man room. As you can see, that involves a lot of statues. The statues are great pieces. They look incredible. They're great memorabilia to celebrate Spider-Man. So that's kind of, after the comic books, that's kind of where my passion lies. Some of the bigger items down here, your Sideshow Premium format, but also this Iron Studios that I did a video some time ago that's on my channel. The most recent addition to the collection is this Sideshow Premium format with the tentacles from Doc Ock. I'll do a video on that next when I have a chance. It's a pretty amazing piece. This is the exclusive version with the 2 heads, this sort of McFarlane looking head, but also an older school sort of Romita looking head. Because I'm kind of an old school nerd, I did try to organize this room in some sort of order. So we've got some lamps and bobbleheads, and then this is all food related items. There's a whole pile of stuff from the '95 cartoon and all the way up till today. Soup and cookies and cereal and chips and all kinds of stuff. Into the bathroom items, garbage cans, Kleenex, shampoo, soap. And then this is sort of Lego and model kits, that kind of thing. Leading into, these are all my, or at least some of the VHS tapes that I have, including these ones, which are my favorite. Sci-Fi Channel did the original Nicholas Hammond live action Spider-Man, released a number of VHS tapes. And I think I have all the VHS tapes. They are pretty awesome. You know, for an old guy like me, I must say Nicholas Hammond is my first experience with live action Spider-Man, so he does certainly hold a soft spot for me. And that leads into the, I can't watch the VHS tapes obviously, but I can watch the DVDs on the TV DVD player with the Spider-Man hand remote. There's my 73 AM radio, you know, Stanley autographed prints. And then over here we get into some of the older toys. So we've got some, a lot of stuff from the 70s, mid to late 70s, some of the Migos, some of the different items from different companies, whether it's, like I say, Migo or Gordy, or obviously the costumes were a big thing in the 70s, obviously with Ben Cooper, so I've got a few different versions of those. Just some different stuff. I do have a soft spot for the older stuff growing up in the 70s and 80s. That's my my favorite stuff, but I mean, we all love Spider-Man, so it's all pretty cool. Leading into the trains and board games, Durham, all the different companies that have made merchandise over the years, remote control cars, all the way through thermoses and cups and radios, and then onto the Mego items, which of course everybody I'm sure is well aware of. Spider-Man, the Lizard, the Green Goblin, they all had great Mego figures. My favorite item, of course, because I got it as a kid, was this Mego, the car. I have anybody who follows my Instagram has to know that I have a funny obsession with the Spider-Mobile. It's an absolutely ridiculous piece of equipment for Spider-Man, and if you want to, you know, he doesn't want to draw attention to himself in New York, so he's driving around in a ginormous red and blue dune buggy, which has always amused me greatly. And then into some of the Empire. Empire did some great toys in the 70s, very colorful. Spider-Man stuff again, helicopters and crime labs, vans, things that don't make any sense to any of the canon but look really awesome. And then we're into Christmas. I do have a soft spot for these Hallmark keepsake ornaments. I do have all of them going back to 96, I believe. And then again, some more board games, and then a lot of the cars and different things that have been released automobile wise, all the way down to the old corgis. They did produce a number of corgis, the motorcycle, the helicopter, cars, a lot of different things. And then of course the San Diego Comic-Con Spider-Mobile, because again, that's one of my funny obsessions about this. The Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man Easter eggs, that was a great item. I thought it was hilarious. I have all the toys from the eggs. Different play sets. Again, different canvases. That's a Ghost Rider Spider-Man canvas on 99. Some of the lights. Funko released the Spider-Man heads, and then there's the older Spider-Man heads from Spider-Man 2. They go around the room. I like the accent of it. And again, just some of the statues. Sideshow, Iron Studios, Atticus had a Marvel license. A lot of different things. The Atticus ones are pretty neat. They did a lot of different things. Spider-Man on the corner, behind the window. Lots of different stuff. Also the Sideshow Premiums, some of the bigger items. I do love the statues, as you can probably tell. Just a lot of really cool different things, limited edition. They always look awesome. So all the way through the women in Spider-Man's life, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, Black Cat, even a little bit of Spider-Woman, because again, watching the cartoon in the 70s, they played the Spider-Man and Spider-Woman cartoon back to back, for those of you who are old enough to remember that. Other different merchandise, we've got goalie masks and banks, cups, and then of course the Spider-Man 3
autograph set. Spider-Man 3 was not the best of the Spider-Man movies. I think we can all probably agree on that, but they did make an awesome card series for it, and that was the 20 card autograph set. All the main stars, Tobey Maguire, Stan Lee, Bruce Campbell, everybody, all the big names that were in it that were in some of the first 3 movies have autograph cards. I'm lucky enough to have that set. And then of course, Pops. I don't have a ton of Pops. There's just so many of them, but they are very cool little Spider-Man collectibles into ghetto blasters. And this is sort of school items, whether it's sandwich cutters, pens, alarm clocks, and down into some of the other items, the card sets, buckets from all of the Spider-Man movies that I've seen in the theater. Yes, I do take whenever there's a Spider-Man movie release, I take the day off of work so I can go to the afternoon show, so it's a little less crazy. Then all the cups and mugs, and down into a lot of the books, including some of the older ones. That Zapp's Mr. Zodiac was one of the first books I got as a kid. This is another item that's been with me since I was little, was the light switch plate. That is an original, was in my room as a kid. And so it's traveled with me ever since. Just the different items, pictures from shows, toys, crayons, you name it. If Spider-Man's on it, I've tried to at least get some examples of it. All the way through the walk-in closet where we've got calendars. I found this Spider-Man tennis racket, which I always thought was quite hilarious. Backpacks, which are pretty neat. And then this is kind of the action figure closet and the comic book closet. So lots of different action figures, as y'all know. Whether they be loose toys out of eggs from restaurants, whether it is merchandise sold in the stores from when the '95 cartoon came out, or from the movies, different appliances. There's a crock pot and a blender, waffle maker, pancake maker, and then some of the Hot Toys figures, Stan Lee, and then the Spider-Man from the different movies. 1, 2, 3, amazing. There's some really, Hot Toys make some amazing figures. They are expensive, but they are amazing. The different hands, the different things you can do with them. And then this is my collection from the '95 cartoon. That kind of in between a kid and teenager. I'd lost Spider-Man a little bit, but that '95 cartoon really brought me back. It was so well done. I just loved it. And then figures from the movies, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and then some of the newer items, including Iron Spider from Avengers Infinity War, and some of the Far From Home items. So a lot of different merchandise. Spider-Man has so much merchandise, it's impossible to keep up, but I do what I can. And then on the other side is the comic book closet. So as you can see, Amazing Spider-Man boxes all the way through Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. I have collected most of the Spider-Man series. I still buy Amazing Spider-Man and some of the newer stuff, the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man comic book series. I have an entire run of Amazing Spider-Man except for 5 books. So my life goals, of course, are to own those 5 and finish my run. Other than that, I've finished most of the series now. Again, the older stuff is more and more expensive, so it becomes difficult to get a hold of. I think that's one of the last graded ones that I bought. First Hydro Man. I had a soft spot for Hydro Man that I can't explain. I just like the character, so I thought that was pretty neat. And then these were the latest. I'm just filling in my run of Amazing Spider-Man variants. So the $7.99 variant, homage to X-Men #1, both the regular and the Virgin variant covers. I always like when they do shout-outs to the older stuff. So like I say, I'm actually out of room now. I've started stacking things all over the place just to try to fit them in. This is a great print I got from Fan Expo in Toronto this year. Really speaks to the new movies and Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I see lots of debates online about who's the better Spider-Man, Tom Holland, Garfield, who. You know what? I love Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man movies. Some of them are better than others, of course, but I'm happy when they make a Spider-Man movie, so it doesn't really matter. Like I say, I grew up with Nicholas Hammond as the live-action Spider-Man, so he certainly, I have a soft spot for him, and for Tobey, because that was the first movie, right? And so the first one, the first big budget movie, so I have a soft spot for him, but they're all good in their own way. So I don't really worry about that. I just like that they're still making Spider-Man movies, and they're going to make another one. I did like Venom as well. I'm a little worried about Venom too, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is my room. This is my obsession. This is what I love. Is Spider-Man, all the merchandise that comes with it. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, this is a lifelong of craziness to a certain degree, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My son is 16 months, and I'm glad he was born, because this is all going to be up to him once I'm gone. So I'm glad he's here to look after it when I'm not here to do it. So that's my room. That's my Spider-Man basement. This is what I love to do. Thank you to everybody for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Again, if you haven't seen the video on Can You Live Entirely Off of Spider-Man merchandise, please go check it out, Comic Drake. And I will be trying to post some new content, especially the new Sideshow Premium Format statue, as that is the most recent pickup in the statue world that I have. Again, with this isolation going on right now, I should have some time to do it. So stay safe out there, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and any questions, let me know. Thanks.